Hello, everybody. This is Nickel, and earlier this week, I had a chance to sit down with the People Show's host, Patrick Imig, to talk it over with this guy right here, the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus. And we talked about a whole bunch of things, like how you guys started in wrestling, the Be a Star program, and some other stuff, including Nancy Grace, which he did not like. Right now, let's go in the studio with me, Patrick Imig, and the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus.
Welcome into the People Show, CBS Sports 920 and InsideSTL.com. Patrick Imig, pleased to be joined in studio by the first ever Irish-born WWE champion, the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus, and also my tag team partner, the newly formed Mega Powers of Radio Broadcasting, Larry Nickel, also in studio. Gentlemen, hello, Sheamus. Welcome to St. Louis.
How are you doing? This is very relaxed in this chair. It's nice rocking experience.
You rock it. You just stay as comfortable as you'd like.
It's actually very comfortable. I might actually leave. I might take this with me. Just to be sure about that now.
Can we let him take home a parting gift? I think they're giving me the nod. Yes.
Well, you're gonna paint the walls anyway, so you might need some new furniture for the office, right?
Yeah, we'll bring in the Spanish announce table too, and maybe you can brogue kick one of us.
Great, you can put each other through the Spanish announce table. It'll be fine.
Why is it always the Spanish announce table? By the way, I mean,
don't put it together right. That's what it is. They leave a few screws out. You know, it's all the effort goes into the normal one, and then the Spanish one just put up really quickly. I don't know, shoddy workmanship. That's what I say.
Good enough. So WWE Monday Night Raw, the longest running weekly episodic program in history.
Oh, don't say that. Come on.
Like Michael Cole?
Come on.
No?
Please.
No, you're tired of that?
He just says it. How many times a week does he say that on Raw? I mean, honestly, how many times does Michael Cole say that? He says it like at least 20 times during the whole show. Or maybe I just start walking.
It's probably yeah. Maybe it's just a coincidence. But St. Louis actually has been pretty kind to you, the winner of the 2012 Royal Rumble, right here in St. Louis.
That's right. Yeah.
What is the St. Louis crowd like? What's it like performing in front of the St. Louis audience for you?
That's great. You know, people talk about New York, Chicago, and L.A. and all, but to me, St. Louis is up there right beside them.
And you really mean that? Absolutely.
St. Louis is my favorite crowds to work in front of or to perform in front of. And it's a major city with a great wrestling history and great wrestling fans. And it'll be no different tonight. You know, that's why we're here. That's why so many pay-per-views have been here. And that's why we do so many shows here. There's no other reason for that except for the fact that it's such a great wrestling city. Vince heard this now, I'll be in trouble for wrestling, but a very great, WWE audience.
Before you got into wrestling, is it right you were actually a bodyguard for Bono?
No, ask me that question. No more YouTube questions.
That's fine with me.
Don't
worry, Patrick. I got that same problem with my other
I almost went the whole day without one of those questions. I know you ruined it. You just ruined the whole media day, fella.
I've already gotten 2 strikes. I brought up Michael Cole, and then I asked a bodyguard question. Do you want to just skip that and go straight into the wrestling career?
Just keep going.
Okay.
Just keep going. Right.
So you started wrestling at the Irish Whip Wrestling School.
Irish Whip, and that
which is one of the greatest names I would think for a wrestling.
It wasn't fetish or anything, if that's what you think.
No.
Wrestling. Well, the Irish Whip was a move. It was when you throw the guy off the ropes. That was originally called an Irish Whip, which was a tribute to Dan O'Mahony. It's an Irish wrestler. He created a move which kind of changed wrestling at the time. When you're doing aerial assaults off guys coming back, you're whipping the guy off to this aerial assaults or whatever you want to do to them, or sunset flips. So it was kind of like, at the time, it was a really cool move, I guess, or creating something completely new in the industry. So.
And then
looking at me like you don't believe me.
No, I believe you.
You look at the laptop. Oh, I'm sorry. You're using a cheat sheet.
I'm using a cheat sheet.
Wikipedia?
No, this is actually
just Wikipedia.
These are just show notes.
Wikipedia.
Larry, what do you have from Wikipedia? Anything?
Well, I have to go with Sheamus. I don't want to get a bro kick from him.
Oh, Larry, don't worry about it. I'm wearing these jeans. They're super tight. There's no way I could even get my leg past my knee. So you're safe. And I wouldn't do it to you anyway because you're a good fella. This guy maybe, but you're safe.
The guy with the Irish name is the one who's on his Sheamus's list. That hurts. One of your classic moments from your early stages of Raw. You actually broke Mark Cuban through a table. What went into that?
So I want to be.
Which I think a lot of people would probably like to see Mark Cuban go through a table again.
Well, here's the thing about that Mark Cuban thing. I had been on TV for a short time, nervous as hell. Moved from ECW to Raw, which was a huge deal, and you could feel the pressure. especially as a newcomer just being thrown into that situation. I had no idea who Mark Cuban was. I literally had no idea who he was. He was there that day. This is Mark Cuban. It's like, okay, I had no idea. How's it going? I thought he was just some friend or something to do with publicity. I don't know. I didn't know what to deal with. I knew he'd do with sports, but I don't have a clue about like basketball or anything. Like, no, coming from Ireland, it's rugby, it's football or soccer as you call it here, and Gaelic football, which is an Irish sport. That's pretty much it, you know. Like tennis, obviously a bit, but because of Wimbledon and stuff. But the three sports were football, rugby, and Gaelic sports. So I had no idea about basketball. Or I knew who Michael Jordan was because I seen all the lads, a couple of pair of his trainers when I was like a teenager growing up. You know what I mean? But I didn't know. And then obviously when I put him through the table, and literally that night, I think it was that night or the next day, I was watching ESPN, or ESPN was on, and all of a sudden they made this huge deal about Mark Cuban, owner. Like I you know, at that time I knew he was the owner of the club. I just didn't realize how big a deal it was putting him through a table. But it was a lot of fun. I have to admit, it was a lot of fun.
So when you get the green light to do that, I mean, do you have the urge to just go around and throw anybody through a table if you can do a billionaire owner of a basketball club? Or is this all just within the confines of the squared circle?
Well, you know, probably could, unless, of course, then there's the issue of being sued comes into it, and legalities and going to jail for a couple of years. That could probably turn me off, putting anyone I want through two tables. When it's on WWE Raw, when it's on the show, then I have no problem at all with that. But it was a lot of fun. I think I did it to Santino a week before, maybe. And then that night, I think it was actually a week before I put Santino through the table, and we were all figuring out what we were going to do. And it ended up me just picking up old Mark and lashed him through, and he was a great sport about it. It's funny, he got an adrenaline rush from the whole show because I wasn't aware, but he'd done the ish thing with Randy Orton in a past episode of Raw, so he was no stranger to doing it. And he, you know, that fella loves the limelight as much as anything else. He wants to be the superstar, and he likes the cameras, and he likes being on TV, and he likes the publicity.
Who's somebody on the road when do you travel alone, or do you have certain guys that you travel with or that you won't travel with? Either because we've had Daniel Bryan on before. He said that nobody wants to drive with Damian Sandow because Sandow drives like 30 miles per hour. Do you have any stories from the road where you would prefer to have somebody in the car with you or not with you?
Yeah, well, originally it was me, Cody Rhodes, Daniel Bryan, and Teddy. We used to travel all the time, and then there was a time it was me, Ted, William Regal, and Daniel Bryan. Well, riding with Daniel Bryan when he was doing the vegan thing, and William Regal was the worst ever. I'm joking. I'm not joking you. We were up, I don't know where we were, but we did a Sunday show which finished at 7. We were actually finished by 8 o'clock. We were starving. And everywhere we go, like Regal can't eat gluten, right? So we're going, I can't eat that because gluten. All you're doing is looking for P.F. Chang's because P.F. Chang's have a gluten-free menu. And we wouldn't go there. We couldn't go to this place because Daniel Bryan couldn't eat it. Then we couldn't go to the other place because William Regal couldn't eat it. Me and Ted DiBiase were literally about to pull our bleeding hair, literally pull our hair out. Eventually we found one restaurant here. We just dumped them out of the car and we went to Red Robin and ate a couple of, just because we heard about the gluten and the burgers and the vegan stuff, we just chomped into two massive Angus steak burgers. So
right in front of them.
No, not right in front of them. We actually did save something in the car when they were in the back, and the smell obviously he was getting. You know, Regal loves the smell of that stuff, but he can't touch it. You know, but yeah, he's a big. And anything gluten, he'll just. It's funny because if he eats gluten, you just see his whole belly would just.
Something I did not know before today.
There you go. He probably going to hate me for saying that, but yeah. So riding with those two was a bit of a nightmare. Pretty much.
The first ever Irish-born WWE champion, Sheamus, joining us here in studio on The People's Show, CBS Sports 920, InsideSTL.com. Larry Nickel also in studio with us. For Monday Night Raw tonight, Hugh Jackman going to be a part of the show from everything I've read. He's a big fan, I guess, of wrestling, and you and him have kind of palled around, I think, previously on Monday Night Raw. Is that right?
No, it was Zach, I think. I met him. I mean, I talked to him backstage. He's really cool. He genuine. Some people will come in, oh yeah, I love WWE, and they're just there for the publicity, do the thing, but they're just like full of hot air. But Hugh Jackman loves it. You want to see him. Last time he was there, he was literally running around backstage like a little kid. He's, what are we doing next? What are we doing next? I mean, he was so genuinely excited. And for such a huge star like him, that's really cool to see, you know. You find some people who are like, who watch WWE, but they're afraid to admit it, or they feel like it's not cool to admit it. You know what I mean? But he was just like, he loved it, and we're delighted to have him back. I think he cut Ziggler with a right hand as well at that show. He's with Zack Ryder and knocked Ziggy out for the win for Zack. But yeah, we're delighted to have him back. He's great.
And speaking of back, I guess one of the main storylines right now, the reformation of Evolution. Is that somebody that's going to be on Sheamus's radar here in the near future?
I don't know, man. I mean, join the group or go against the
either
group?
Or. I mean, whatever's best for Sheamus, I would think.
I think I have too much hair, and I'm not tan enough to be in Evolution at the moment. As opposed to going against them, I have no idea. I really haven't had any issues with any of them. I had the match with Batista, obviously, on SmackDown a couple of weeks ago, but really haven't. I think it's a cool setup between the Shield and Evolution. I think that's got to be a cool thing, especially for the Shield, And a lot of superstars who've watched WWE. It's weird when you say it's only 10 years ago, but when Evolution were at their prime,
It's hard to believe it's been that long.
Yeah, I mean that's incredible to think that's even after DX. It shows you how long ago DX was in the, at the top of their game, like with the 4 or 5 guys, But I think it's going to be cool for the Shield, and it'll be good to helping the new talent and bringing on the new crop of superstars who are popping up.
Yeah, and you guys have been, the company, it seems like it's been producing a lot of just new young talent. What can you say about the business now compared to when you first came in 2009? How is WWE different just over the course of the last 5 years or so, 6 years?
I think the locker room's a lot better. I think that there's a lot more willingness to help everybody. And I think when I first came in, obviously, I just saw the resentment side when I became WWE champ in a record time. But there was a lot of people unhappy with me. A lot of people. It was actually pretty funny how much they resented that. And I saw the kind of nasty side about it. But I've said this before, I really didn't give a damn because I wasn't a kid. And I wasn't there to make friends. I was there to be successful and make a living and try and achieve all these titles and achievements. But now, even now, a lot of bad eggs are not there anymore. But there's a lot of good talent coming through. A lot of talent who are willing to learn, and a lot of talent who are motivated and hungry. The Wyatts, the Shield, Rusev's come in. He's yet to really be challenged, but I've seen him go, and he's got great potential. And of course, there's a lot of other superstars in NXT who are going to make the rise. I think Bo Dallas is about to come in as well. Adam Rose guy as well is on the verge as well. So there's a lot of great talent and a lot of hungry talent. That's what you want. You don't want people just going out there and just phoning it in every night. You want people who want to put on the best show. And the more guys you have who are hungry and you're willing to just pull out all the stops, and the better the show is going to be, and the better the entertainment value is going to be for everyone coming to these matches.
And it seems like everybody on the roster takes pride, I guess, in just putting a smile on people's faces. You guys are now more geared towards family-friendly stuff, kind of like when I was growing up. How much satisfaction do you get just out of putting a smile on a kid's face? I'm actually going to ask you to sign something for one of my friend's sons who is dressed up like Sheamus in a picture he sent me. So
awesome. But
he's a huge fan of yours, but just in general, what kind of a rush do you guys get out of that?
You get a great rush, and I think you say we are PG, right? We are oriented towards families, but I think as well as that, there's a separation there. You got a lot of the kind of older teenagers and stuff like that, or and then you got the kids as well, and you'll hear that in the shows with the crowd sometimes going up and down, and you know what I mean, and not just geared towards one superstar depending who's in the match, because our product, our in-ring product has come along so far. I mean, if you look, like, the network is great stuff, and it gives you a feeling of like when you watch some of the matches that happened back in the 80s to now. I mean, we're more athletes, more faster paced, more high risk stuff. It just is a different. I mean, it's a much faster, much better in-ring experience. You know what I mean? And I think that caters to everybody as well as the kids, because the kids love it and they love the characters in the show. But like, I think the older crowd appreciate more what happens in that sense of the false finishes and the ride you're taking on. You know what I mean? So it really is it's something for everybody.
Larry, you got anything?
Yeah, what's your feeling on the match between Bad News Barrett and RVD?
I think it's going to be an interesting match. I'm pretty sure Wade'll take it. I think he's been on a roll lately, and I think I said earlier on I feel like they dropped the ball with him with the Nexus stuff because I think he's got great potential. He was literally hated, and then I know they went the Punk Nexus way, but I thought they could have gone so much further with Wade Barrett. That core thing they did and was SmackDown to me was just awful. It just was not good, you know.
And then he got an injury too, like right before WrestleMania, I believe, last year.
Yeah,
and that kind of derailed.
2012, right?
Maybe that was too.
Yeah, it was after the Rumble because there was the next night they had we were in Minneapolis, I think, and we had the Raw and then had the Battle Royal for the other title, for the other championship or whatever it was, or for Punk's title. Actually, wasn't. It was after maybe after the Elimination Chamber, I think. But I know that they had another one. That's when he literally. Dolph landed on his arm.
I think so.
And then Santino came over right after and landed on his arm again. So yeah, he's been through the surgery and he's come back through. And he's more settled. His in-ring work is so far ahead than it was when he first started. Like for all of us, you know, it's getting better and better all the time. And there's no one better on the mic than him.
Yeah, he does. He definitely gets your attention with the bad news bit, which I thoroughly enjoy. You actually recovered from your injury too. You had a torn labrum. What was the process like for you, just rehabbing and?
It's a pain in the arse. Just a lot of drinking.
By the way, I have another question. What's your favorite kind of stout when you go out to the bars and? Stout
wise, I'll drink Guinness. I do like a good pint of Guinness though. It's hard to get a good pint of Guinness in Tampa. There's one place called Four Green Fields that sells a great pint of Guinness, but generally a lot of the stuff is not good. You know what I mean? But if you can find a good pint of Guinness, which if you're ever in Tampa, the Four Green Fields place is pretty good.
And it's Irish whiskey. I mean, is that something that you enjoy, or is it more just on the stout beer?
Like pint of Guinness is nice to relax. You know, Tullamore Dew would be my choice if I was sitting down and having a whiskey. I'd have a Tullamore Dew. It's the best stuff, actually. It's way better than Jameson or any of that stuff.
You think Jameson is imposter whiskey?
No, it's not imposter. I just think it's overrated.
Probably a little bit more commercial, I think. What's it like working for Vince McMahon? I'm curious because I've always enjoyed watching him as both the guy, the brains behind everything, but also just as an entertainer. I assume he gets very excited when you present him an idea.
Yeah, Vince is very quiet. Like
really?
Yeah. I mean, my experience, like you'll see him backstage, he's quiet. Like it's just crazy. It's just funny because you see Vince and Gorilla, and he's sitting there and he's got the headset on, he's watching the show intently and just making sure everything goes right. He works with the writers, he works pretty much everything. He runs this $1 billion company at the same time also produces the TV, and he's very quiet. Like he's focused on what he's doing. Then when his music hits and he goes out, he's a completely different person, over the top persona, just loving being in front of the crowd and the audience. But generally backstage he's pretty quiet. Like he's laugh, he'll smile, have a joke, but you know he's focused on what's going on. There's a lot of stuff on his shoulders. You know, he's got a lot to make sure it runs well and a lot to focus on. You know, so yeah, but he's cool. Always been great with me. I've never had a problem with him. Get on with him well, and he's a fair boss.
Well, talking about ideas, did you have any input when they came around with doing your entrance music?
I originally had my own entrance music. It was the Irish Curse done by a guy called Alan Doyle in Ireland. I think it might be out there somewhere on YouTube. And then when we came there, we couldn't use it because I guess there was some issues with rights and stuff. So Jim Johnson created the song I've had. I've had that song now since FCW, actually, since Developmental. So I think I may have had that song since 2008.
It's catchy.
I wouldn't mind. I don't know. I feel like there's an entrance song out there for me that will just ramp it up a bit. I've enjoyed the music, and the thing about entrance music is too, it's the audience reaction. Once they know it, like you'll always see when someone changes their music, people are like, they don't know,
right?
That they're taken aback by whose music is this, and it takes a while but when their music hits, it's like John's hits, Cena's music hits, or the Daniel Bryan music hits, or whatever. The fans know who's coming out, and it just gets them excited. They're excited about it.
One last question from me for you: if you found out that a sports radio host in St. Louis was charged with bro kicking Nancy Grace, would you be offended if I did that? In your, not necessarily in your honor, but using the bro kick as my method of destruction. Would that offend you?
Would it offend me if you bro kicked her?
Yes.
You know, I've never been a fan of Nancy Grace.
I didn't like what she had to. We actually played some of her sound bites.
I didn't listen to any of that interview. I didn't listen to any of that interview. I didn't read it because I knew what she was like.
Right.
I've seen her before, like once or twice, about stuff, and it's not a talk show. It's just her talking and her giving her opinion. And you know what it's like to me? It's just she's basically convicting someone without anything ever happening. It's like it's innocent until proven guilty. Well, you're guilty until proven guilty, and she won't even give you a chance to prove you're innocent of whatever it is or whoever's on the show.
Right.
Non-wrestling related. I just think she's. I don't even think she has a soul. To be honest with you, I'm pretty sure she don't have a soul. But I wouldn't waste my time. I wouldn't give her the credit, do anything to her. I would just ignore her. As I said, when I heard about the interview, I didn't watch it. I wouldn't read it. I just wouldn't. If I'm going through channels and it happens to be her show, I'll just keep going because it's garbage. Her show is garbage, and I feel she's playing a character. I don't even know if that really is her. She's doing what she can to get ratings. We had this guy called, I always say controversy creates interest. I think that's what she's doing. I'm pretty sure that since she steps in, she's stepping into this vicious, just kind of soulless, kind of antagonistic character. I don't think that's her at all, to be honest with you.
Let's hope
but
not,
she's doing what she can for ratings, and that's what I feel. I feel that's her way of getting people to either agree with her or diss her. She's just looking for that attention, and when she shuts off, I'm sure maybe she goes into this other person, but I don't know. I just don't know if anybody can truly in real life be, that type of person.
Any last
I even
things
know
there?
I had some grouchy school teachers in primary school. I had one threw a shoe at me one time. So maybe
what did you
chase
do?
me around the class.
What did you do
shoe.
to have a shoe thrown?
I don't know. I think so. I've always been a daydreamer, and I think something happened where, like, I was, very hard to concentrate. Especially most of my subjects were in Irish, so Gaelic, which made it harder. Like if you do maths in English, it's hard enough. But if you do maths in Irish, the Gaelic language, it's even harder. I think I don't know. Maybe she annoyed me or something, or maybe I just wasn't paying attention. I guess I had this I brought toys into school. I was only a kid, and I was playing with the toys. She snatched the toys off me, and I just did the fire because she had that grin. She had a grin in her face. I took a pen and a ruler, and I put the ruler, the pen. I made another airplane, and then she took that off me. And I think I made a paper airplane, and that's when she lost it. And she went to grab me out of my chair, and I kind of jumped out of the chair. And we had these rows of desks, the one-seater desks.
Sure.
So I literally ran. She chased me down the aisle. I ran around the other side. She couldn't catch me, so she took her shoe off and she flung it at me, missed me, hit some other kid in the head with the shoe, and then I ended up getting in trouble over it. But
and then you said, "Hey, fella," which would be awesome if you said that back when you were in
She did have some facial hair, I think. So
perfect.
Fella may have been okay. But yeah, so maybe. What's the point we're talking about? We're talking about Nancy Grace, right?
Yeah,
I would tell you, I would hate to have
We're
her.
listening to Sheamus live on the People's Show.
I would hate to have her as a school teacher. I would definitely hate to have her as a school teacher. Imagine how bad she'd be. Imagine she was a school teacher in the 80s.
She'd just make up
or the 70s.
Make things up. She would. It would be revisionist history.
She'd make all the girls get the same haircut as hers. Anyway, where's this going? Oh, okay. WWE Raw tonight, St. Louis.
Hugh Jackman, a part of the program. Larry, one last question for Sheamus.
I got two, if you don't mind, Pat.
That's okay. Yeah, go ahead.
So my first one is I was asked by my co-host about that movie you do on the ropes with the forearms to the chest. May I ask what that name of that movie is?
It's the 10 beats of the Baron. Baron is an Irish. You know what a Baron is, right?
Yeah.
Irish, yeah. If you didn't, that would be.
Well, you already hate me for the
I hate you at all.
question.
Relax. Do I hate you?
No.
Don't even know you.
No, we should.
No, I don't hate you at all. No, the 10 beats of the Baron. Baron is a very famous drum, like a hand drum that they use in like a lot of Irish folk music. And you see them in the Irish bars people playing barons, Ellen pipes, which are like the bagpipes and guitar. You know, a lot of traditional Irish music bands will use it. So I just keep going.
And my final question is, the last time we talked, which was about 3 years ago.
Was it 3 years ago?
Yeah, it was. And we talked about the Be a Star program. I was wondering if you're still involved with that, or is it?
Yeah, I think it was 2 years ago, maybe. I lose track of time. We're trying to figure it out today. If it was 2 or 3 years since I last been here. Yeah, I'm still involved in the Be a Star program. They've started to divide it out between a lot of the superstars now because our schedules have got so crazy. But they've allowed other superstars and divas to get involved and do the program too. So, but I'm still involved. I still do them. I was doing them when I was injured, and I really enjoy doing them. I volunteered to be part of that program. Because to me it's very important. So I mean, I don't see it going away anytime soon. I think if anything, it's getting stronger, and I think we've thank God we've helped a lot of kids, and who've been in serious bullying situations. So I think it's a very important program, and long may it continue.
Sheamus, Larry Nickel, it's been a pleasure. Appreciate your time today. Tonight, Monday Night Raw, you'll be in attendance. I'll be there. Justin Boyd will be there as well.
Nancy Grace will not be
Nancy
there.
Grace will not be there. But
unless Larry, you want to dress up as Nancy, do you?
Do you have any?
No.
We'll
we dress Larry up as Nancy Grace?
We'll just get a mop. We'll just take it off of the stick and put it on your head.
I don't want to get broken by our famous superstar, Sheamus.
I promise I won't. I promise. The phones are ringing now. We're told to stop talking about Nancy Grace. Phones are ringing.
That's what happens. Nancy Grace equals ratings. All right, Sheamus, much appreciated, and we'll be looking at you tonight, and we'll be cheering loud and hard for you.
I appreciate that, Pa.
Appreciate
you're
the time.
You're a good friend, Pa.
Appreciate that,
you're
Sheamus.
Friend, fellow Irishman.
And I will have a Tullamore Drew at some point on you. Not on you,
Drew
but
or
to you. Tullamore Drew.
Good, yeah. That is a Tullamore Drew.
No, I'm thinking Nancy Drew because Nancy Grace.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. How'd we get here?
It's
the end of the interview. Sheamus, we'll see you tonight.
What a train wreck!
Only
It's been fun, though. It's been fun. No, thank you.
By the way, clip that off, please.